So I'm going to show you a mistake that some people make once in a while. We had one in the studio, and when you're folding on your line and folding your template back to put your next piece on, sometimes your template slips. In this case, her template slipped to right where I've drawn that pink line. That's where her template slipped. And when she folded back, she trimmed nicely her 1/4-inch seam allowance, and then she lined up her piece the way she was supposed to, and she went to sew on line 6, and when she flipped it back over, she realized she only caught the beginning of the seam down here and missed the seam entirely up here. And she wondered what she did and looked and found out that her template had slipped. So I'm saying there's a fix to this. And what I did was, where she folded it originally to draw her line and it slipped to, we drew a secondary line, and I drew it in pink on the place that she folded at. And it's going to change her spike. So it's just a tiny bit shorter than the other spikes, but nobody's going to notice that in the big picture, in the whole quilt. And she's going to go back now, and she's going to sew on this pink line. Everything's still lined up nicely. She's going to sew on this pink line, and it's going to be her new sew line. And then when she folds it out, I actually put some pins on this line to just make sure that when it's folded out this way and pressed, to see if it's going to be big enough to make it to the next seam allowance line. And when I bring this over to my light table, I can show you that it is going to make it. It's going to make it past down here where it was okay to begin with, and up at the top where the change was made, look, it's just going to make it to the seam allowance line here. So we have nothing to worry about. So she's going to sew on that pink line, and then we're going to keep going on the rest of the piece. So that is a tip for how to fix that kind of a problem.